Yeah, well, the trio is Gerald Cleaver and Thomas Morgan, and that's a long working thing. The first gig we did with that particular lineup was at the Monterey Festival in like 2007, and then we've been working a lot since then. I'm not playing with that trio on this gig, actually. I'm playing with the quartet on this gig, but that's just been a long. That's an example of that. What I was talking about with Dave Holland, because we played here 2007, then we did like 4 or 5 tours in Europe before we recorded this album, you know, working with that material. So it was really a developed kind of trio project. Like we spent a lot of time like working on playing music together as a unit and with a certain concept. Sort of an unspoken concept. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but it's sort of an understood group think kind of thing that we're going for, and it's still developing. And it keeps changing, you know, which is always great. And it's sort of an offshoot of my solo thing in the sense of just focusing around, I always say focusing around sound, and I know that means can mean a lot of different things, but I guess simply meaning that it starts, like whatever we do in terms of harmony, in terms of rhythm, in terms of melody and stuff, the root of it is really dealing with whatever the sound context. What does it sound like in this space? What does it sound like? What do these instruments sound like? Everything starts there, and then all the other decisions are made after that, which isn't always the case. Sometimes you start with, okay, we're going to play this tune, so this is what the changes are, so this is how I'm going to approach it, and that can't even be considered in my solo thing or with the group until we even know what things are sounding like, and then it's like maybe we won't even approach that harmony that way because it's sounding like this in here, so maybe we'll do something else with it. You know, all those decisions start with sound. You know. And all my groups are kind of like that, but those two in particular really have musicians in them that invest in that to a great degree. So what it results is it's a group where, you know, nobody, like people won't play if they don't have to, you know. Because if it sounds like, if one person doing something sounds good, then that's all that needs to be happening, you know. So it's got that kind of potential, and then it can work up to everybody playing, you know, of course, but it doesn't have to, and that's a good base, you know, to start with. It's like, okay, everybody's really comfortable with, if it sounds good, we're not gonna, just going for what sounds good, what sounds the best. The quartet here is with Dave King from Bad Plus and a lot of things, who I've been playing with since we were 12. Since we were 12. We all grew up, Dave King, Reed Anderson, and I grew up together in Golden Valley. So I go way back with those guys. So he's on drums, and Chris Speed is on tenor and clarinet, and Chris Lightcap's on bass. So in a way, it's an amalgam of some groups, because Lightcap was in an earlier trio I had that was with Gerald Cleaver and Chris Lightcap. And we did an album called Light Made Lighter, and he's played with me over the years on a number of things. And then Dave is on my album, my electronic album called Junk Magic, and I've worked with him in tons of projects. And Chris Speed's been playing in the working band version of Junk Magic for several years. So this is kind of a new group, kind of doing some new music, convening around like maybe a slightly different approach to acoustic and electric kind of material. And this is the first gig of this, but it's all guys I've played with in other contexts, so there's like this working vocabulary already there. Craig